Hariom everyone, welcome to this class on Purusha Sukta. We'll
Hariom.
start chanting first. You can chant at your end, I will chant here. Om Gana Om sorry. Om Sahna Bhavatu Sahnau Bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणस्पत आन शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् ॐ श्रीमहागणपतये नमः सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. So we are starting with the Purusha Sukta. We have initially covered up till the 8th part here so far. We just left the 9th part because first we did a broad overview of all the meanings. Of course, we did work it out in detail. So just before we move into the final part, the 9th part, where the union of this Paramatma and Atma, the oneness is being mentioned, we have to understand all the aspects that we have covered so far. So we'll just move into the third, fourth part, which we are looking at right now. So far we have seen that in this till the third part, that how this Brahmand Deha, the whole universal body has come about. And then, of course, in that Brahmand Deha, the Virat Purusha, the consciousness that is looking after or controlling the Virat universe or the whole universe, that is entering there. So now, just a short note about this part as Shastra. What is Shastra and why I am taking this up? Because first thing you have to remember is that so far what we have seen, this projection of this world, then from that ultimate reality, the different beings coming out, the devas, the Tiryak yonis, that is the animals, the manushas, the human beings, and all of them emerging from this body have then made up this universe. So now first order of that is the five Mahabhutas, which we saw last time also. Why the five Mahabhutas, why Prithvi is mentioned only as the final cause, which means automatically the remaining four elements having come earlier is assumed as known. Because here the Srishti is letting us know not just about the order. So in any Shastra, whenever we study any Shastra, we have to be very careful to remember that what is the prayojan, what is the main reason why we study Shastra. So whenever we study a Shastra, then we have to remember that we have to learn what we can gain out of it, how we can add to our behavior or add to our interactions in the world, whatever we do, so that when we interact, our behavior does not come with any kind of imbalance in the creation, but and no kind of, when we can say, quarrel, or no kind of negativity should be born out of our interactions. Of course, where quarrel in the sense war is required, even that is allowed by Shastra, but that is a different thing. So now when this Shastra is going to teach us something, that means what is the meaning of Shastra? Shasate iti Shastraha. So Shas means, the Shas Dhatu means the one that rules over us. Shasan. Shasan karti hai. So the Shastra rules over us. That is, what does a ruler do? The ruler or king, he tells his followers what to do. He controls them, he guides them, and so on. So Shastra tells us what to do. That is why we should never worry in a Shastra about what the characters did, analyze their moral shortcomings or all that. That is useless. That is a waste of time. We have to apply to what positivity that we can gain out of that. That is why sometimes in Shastra there is always what we call Ati Shruti. There is a exaggeration that is allowed because when we are being taught something good from a story, from the nature of some king or someone in the past, then what is the purpose we had read about Shastra? To move us to a more positive thought or more positive worldview. So when we have to get to that positive worldview, that means that Shastra reserves the right to put in those values, even for those people who will not have all those values, they have partially those values, but by the medium of a story, other values are added. So that is not exactly like myth or creating falseness, but it is a way of incorporating universal values into Shastra. That is the reason. Then Tra, in the word Shastra, there is the word Tra. So Tra basically simply means where. So where? So in Sanskrit, like whenever you say Yatra, Yatra means to where. Then Tatra means there, somewhere far from here. Then Kutra, from where. So Tra basically means Sthanaha. So Shastra is a Sthanaha from where we can get ruled, Shasate, so that our behavior becomes more uh, beautiful, right? So now this Upadesha that is given by this Shastra also is leading us towards learning what we can do. So what did we learn here? We are learning the sequence of creation. Is the sequence important? No. Just the sequence is there is a certain importance to sequence that is not denied. But why, who came first, we don't need to know. But the reasoning behind that, if you have understand, that is the exact thing. So, like now Virat has come. We have seen so far up to Virat. So, what is the specialty about first the Virat Purusha? That is the Jada creation, the non-living creation came about, and then Virat Purush entered it. The consciousness came. So, the reason there is the Atta or the eater or the consumer will always come after. First, the food has to be on the plate. Then you are having food. Then your mom will call you. Dinner is ready. Please come. So then only you come to the table, right? So therefore, here also the Lord has seen that same process. So first he creates the universe, which is which he will consume. Consume, not just eat through the mouth. We consume everything. We consume through our ears. We consume through our eyes, and so on. So whenever we consume what the Virat Purusha is, whenever the Virat Purusha is going to consume this universe, that means the material of the universe that he is creating, that will become his source of enjoyment. His meaning, all the beings that he has made emerge out from himself. So all these beings, when they are projected out into the world, they will become uh, but they will maintain the continuity of this creation. So, Anna Bhav or the Bhava or the appearance of food will then be followed by the eater of the food. So this is beautifully explained by Sureshwaracharya. He is one of the very famous Shishyas or students of Bhagwan Bhashyakar, Bhagwan Shankaracharya. So he said, Yadva Virajam Uddishya Sankalpam Karonmanah Atmanvi Syamiti Tatha Sakutah Srishtikaran. So he says that this Yada Virajam Uddishya. So whenever this Viraja comes about, then whatever reasons there will be for his appearance, the first reason is that I Atmanvi Syamiti. I shall be the possessor of Atma. Atma means what? Wherever this whatever in this universe is coming out from. Whatever in this universe is coming out from, that is Atma. Whatever is the source of everything, right? Whatever is the substratum of everything. So there is a definition from Atma. I'll just share this so we can discuss about this part. We took it in our definition classes. So I'll just read it out for you. What is Atma called? There is a definition for whenever you look up any Sanskrit dictionary, you will find this. So what is Atma? I can enlarge it in case. So Yacha Apnoti, Yacha Adatte, Yacha Atti, Vishyan Iha. Yaccha asya santato bhavaha tasmat atma iti kirtayate. So this is from Vishnu Puran. So when we are talking about this Atma or the Virat Purusha or the Purusha who has projected this universe, then Yatcha Apnoti, the one whom into which everything will merge, Apnoti, जो जिसको ले लेता है, it will take everything, and Yatcha Adatte, from which everything will come out. So both, from it everything will come out, into it everything will merge. Or you can say the whatever is the Srishti Karan and the Laya Karan. Srishti and Laya Karan. And Yachya Atti Vishan Iha. So that is the Sthiti Karan. That will be the eater or the consumer of the Vishayas, of the objects of the universe. And Yachya Asya Santato Bhava. So anything that exists here is coming out, is owes his existence to Atma. सब कुछ उस आत्मा से आया है तस्मात आत्मा इति कीर्तयते that is the definition of atma or that is what atma is called. So, so this is given by Bhagwan Sureshwaracharya initially. So he has used this for the definition of Atma in the for the description in this Purusha Sukta. So where he says that whenever this Atma is to be understood, you have to understand it as the source of everything. So now the important part is he has created the Atma to consume all the objects, right? So what are the objects? The objects, we call them Vishaya. Vishaya is the object. So what is Vishaya? So in that, the root of a word, it gives very beautiful pointers towards the nature of an object, the root word. So in Vishaya, Shi Dhatu is the root word. So Shi means bandhane, something that binds you. Right? So Vishaya is something always that binds us. Whenever we observe a sense object, it binds us. It catches our attention. It holds us to it. Right? So in Hindi also there is silna, stitching. So silna is also that, to bandhana, to stitch together things. Right? So Shi Dhatu.
So
And
that
then
is,
yes.
so that is that two different shas are there. No, we are talking about
Two different are there, but the meaning is same. In Sanskrit, it is sha. In Hindi, it is sa. So sometimes in change of language, the variation comes, right? So then this sa and sha you will interchange. So Vishaya will represent something that binds us. And V is added as Visheshena, especially or more effectively, right? So Vishaya is something that binds you. So that is why we have to be very careful in our observance or in our attraction to all objects of the world. So because whatever happens is that whatever Vishaya we observe, we give it existence. How? You will say it is already existent. How can we give it existence? The knowledge about that, the knowledge of the, let us say a pot, is there within us only. We, through our consciousness, pervade that pot. So once we know that, then that pervasion, this image that is caught from there, it comes inside. Then we know that this is a pot. So that knowledge is there already within us only. Our mind or our brain envelops that object and it catches that image, and that image comes into our mind. So therefore, now what we have to do is, if we are observing or we are interacting with the Vishaya, we have to be very careful that to remember that who is the conscious entity. I gave the example in yesterday's class also that it is the conscious entity which has power. So it is the only one that can do any action. So we should never say that why the Vishaya is controlling me, my mind was off, so I couldn't do well, and so on. That kind of bahana, that kind of excuse won't do. Why? Because it is a conscious entity that can do anything. So we are conscious beings. So conscious being is the one who can actually do the act of attaching or do any kind of interaction with any object. Like I said, that when there are certain some people sitting in a room, and then after some time, one person is not there. So you say he must have gone away. Similarly, if there is an object lying somewhere, there are some books lying somewhere, and then one of the books is missing, then you say a person, someone must have taken it. The book didn't walk away on its own. So same way here also, Vishaya, we have to remember, they cannot bind us. They don't have the power to bind us. We are under the ignorance that they bind us. We are conscious beings, so we should be able to control these Vishayas. So that whatever Shastra you read, no, there are a lot of common things will come in all of them. So in this one, this Bhagwan Sureshwaracharya, uh, he wrote what is called a Vartik on Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. So what is a Vartik? Uh, a Vartik is a text which is written in poetry form and which analyzes the bhashyam of a text. So let us say there is an Upanishad. On that, the explanation is written. That was written by, say, this one was written by Bhagwan Shankaracharya. So Shankaracharya wrote this bhashyam, which is explaining. Then what does the Vartik do? The Vartik tells whatever is there in the bhashyam and also what is not there, whatever is not whatever has not been caught by the original writer, or something difficult has been said that is explained in more detail, right? So it elaborates, and the more difficult part of it is what it is to be in verse form. So writing something as an explanation in verse form is more difficult. So it is said in those times that Sureshwacharya, he was earlier Mandan Mishra. So he was a very big expert in Karma Kanda, about the action part of the Vedas. And so he would argue about that. And then Shankaracharya came and he said that this Vedanta is more strong, more logical. So they had a huge debate which lasted for a long, long time. So at the end of that debate, Mandan Mishra, he lost the debate. So he lost the debate. He conceded defeat, and then he ultimately became one of the shishyas, one of the students of Shankaracharya. And so he would then uh, learn from him. But at the same time, he wrote a lot of his works while studying under Shankaracharya Bhagavan. So Shankaracharya knew that he had a lot of good students, but he knew that this student was special. Why? Because already someone who has perfected Karma Kanda means he has internally developed a very clear chitta, clear mind. So because of that, he is more easily able to articulate or understand things. So for that, for Sureshwaracharya, no, when he told him, "You are Brahman," and he explained the logic, then he didn't need explanation. He said, "I understood, Guruji, no need." So clear he was. And then, some people would come to him and say that we know these things, and yet our mind wanders. And he would get angry. How can your mind wander? You know this. How can your mind wander? That kind of attitude he used to have. So that is why when Shankaracharya ji told him to write this Vartik, other students said, no, he is a new student. Why? They were sort of jealous also. So why hasn't he told us? So then he told him to write another text, an independent text. And similarly, he told his other students also to write independent text. And then he showed them, look at the clarity of this. From there on, they allowed him. So he wrote first. He wrote one of the earlier texts about there is an Upanishad, Garbha Upanishad. So from on that he wrote his commentary. So after that he got to write on the Brihadaranyaka, which is the longest Upanishad, and writing on that takes a long time. So let's come back to Purusha Sukta. So there, what he wrote about that is he wrote about there is a plant, we call it Apalataha. So he wrote this Apa Marga Lata Evam Viruddha Falado Bhavaha Pratyak Drisham Vimokshaya Sansaraya Paragdrisham. So he said there is an Apamarga Lata. It has very, very small thorns, right? And those thorns are all pointed in one direction. You would have seen, we have a haircut, and that I know about Ben. So in that haircut, the hairs are pointing towards one direction only, the small, small hairs. So you pass your hand like this, and you will feel it smooth. And then you pass in the reverse direction, it will hurt you. It will, chubega aapko, it will hurt you because the direction is, when in a very small hair, they have a certain direction. So in that same lata also, the direction is there. So if you know how to run your hand over it, if you know how to, if you run it in the right direction, you will not be hurt. But if you run it in the reverse direction, then viruddha phalado bhava, then you will be hurt. You will have a
Okay.
viruddha phala. You will have pain, right?
So that
Other
sticks
direction will
on
be
the
the,
clothes. That no apamara. Sometimes it
yeah, yeah.
sticks on the.
It
Okay.
sticks on the clothes also, yes.
Okay.
So that is, so he says that once you do that, then it will hurt you, right? So in this way, same thing with this sansara also, the Vishayas. If you know how to handle them, Pratyak Disham, if you know the right direction with which to handle these sense objects, then Vimokshaya and Sansara Parag Disham, they take you away from sansara. When you learn about the nature of the Vishayas as being temporary, they cannot bind you. So therefore, always bear in mind, he said, Sarva Bhutastam Atmana, Sarva Bhutani Chatmani. All the Bhutas, all the sense objects have come out from Atmana, and all they will merge back. The same thought we saw earlier. So look at this whole Jada Chetan Jagat, this world of conscious and non-conscious forms within you. And once you do that, then you will never get into the circle of life and death. You will easily pass on out of this circle, right? So in this way, always remember that the objects are given what we call satta, who is called the umi, the prithvi. So prithvi, bhu also means the reality on which everything stands. So it is the one that gives reality to. So that is why bhava means to become something, right? So therefore, remember, anything that has become something is because it has come out of your atma. It has come out of the source. So once you hold on to that, then you will always be able to catch hold of objects without getting caught in them. So he says, Pratishadam Vishwamidam Swam Vidhi Vilapayan. Every second, every moment, you dissolve the objects within you. Not just once in a day or once in a week, or you are doing it just while in the class or whenever you are doing something. No, whenever afterwards also, on every second. So there are so many other philosophers who have said something similar, but he said in every second. Because others say that this is something you should do, but he says every moment this thought should be with you. Then only you can be clear about your perspective in the world, about where you are coming from and why or how you need to interact in the world. So that is his experience. That is his experience of constantly being absorbed in the reality. So now, this means that you don't have a satya drishti in the samsara. Don't give reality to samsara. The reality belongs to Atma only. It is the real source of everything. So if we look at any duty in the world, that duty uh, is comes after the duty to the soul, or duty to acquiring knowledge. Our Shastras always say that whenever you have to acquire any kind of knowledge, then that comes as a that is more primary than any other. So your duty towards Bhagwan or your duty towards acquiring knowledge comes before any kind of work. So any business, any making money, any relaxation, if there is something where uh, you have your duty towards God or satsang or wherever, so that always comes first. Right? So always go into that duty, and whenever you are out of that duty and you have spare time, then continue the meditation, shravan, manan, nididhyasana. The shravan is done while with the teacher, manana when you are moving out in the world, and nididhyasana, any doubt that is there, keep on chasing after that till it becomes clear to you. You have to clear it every second. You should be able to pursue that. Right? So in this way, we have to put our this nature of Atma as in front of us, right? There is a story in the Puranas. That is about a king. So this king, he was once asked to. He had in those days they used to have a lot of wives. The kings would have many wives. So once he went to a jungle to do some kind of to do shikar. So there he found that there is a very beautiful woman who was wandering around. And then he went up to her and he said that I really like you and I want to marry you. So she said, I don't want to marry you. You are a king. You have already so many wives. Why would I want to become, secondary to someone else? So he said, no, what I'll do is I will make you my chief wife. So in that way, you will have a special status and all that. So, and I'll give you all these extra benefits and all. He said that. So ultimately, she said, I relented, but I have only one wish. You will never ask me or take me to the river to bathe. You will never take me to the water. So he said, this is a strange kind of wish, strange kind of desire, but okay, it's nothing big for him. So he said, okay, whatever you say, we will do that. So now he married her. So when he married her, then they had some good time together. But the other wives were very, very jealous of her. So now they would observe that this lady, she never goes for a bath. So many times they would ask her, and they said something is wrong here. So one day, they uh, somehow convinced the king to say, look, it is not good for a person not to have a bath. This is very, very, this is a very, very bad thing. So we have to, there is a big puja coming up. For that, this bath is necessary. So there, he took them, he somehow he just convinced her or forced her in a way. So she said, you had told me so that you want. He said, no, look, this is a ritual, it is necessary. So do it once. So she had no choice. She said, okay, but you have to bear the consequences if anything happens. He thought, what consequences? Kya ho jayega? It's whatever maximum will happen. So he took them, took the all the ladies, and they went into the water. And when they had had their bath, they all came out. The other, she was not there, the one he had married. So she had disappeared. He thought, what will we do? So how can she disappear like that? They waited for some time, maybe a body will float up and so on. No, nothing appeared. Then he sent his divers in, and then the divers, then they saw there is still nothing. So he said, empty the pond. It was a very small pond. So he said, okay, empty the pond. I want to find out. So they started emptying the pond. And so when they reached the bottom, there are a lot of frogs were living there. So the frogs were living there. So there the king, when just a little bit of the water was left, the king of the frogs came and he said, why are you emptying this pond? So he said that, look, my wife is missing. So he said, your wife is here only, but now she cannot go back to you. He said, why? Because she had had a boon that she is a frog, but she can become, she will become a human being once she moves out of the water. So the moment she comes back, she will become a frog again. So he showed her. So he said, then what do you do? I want, how do you propose to solve this situation? So he said, okay, you take her out of the water. And he took her out of the water and she turned back into the beautiful woman. So he said, never again bring her to the water now. Now what happened was he lost all his passion for this woman because now he knows the true nature. He knows she's a Mendiki, right? She's a toad. So he lost. So that is the same way when we learn about the nature of sense objects, that they are not what we make them out to be. They are all projections. They are all, born out of my own sankalpa. And then only they will lose their hold upon us. Just like that woman had a hold upon him. So you will also uh, be able to get yourself free of your hold from the sense objects, right? So in this way, whenever we interact with objects, we have to be very careful. So now we come to the part of the this in this Atma definition, that everything merges back into Atma. Huh? So there we have one very important point, that whenever we are looking at something that merges back into its source, then whatever will merge back into the source, it is originally of the same nature only. जो जिसका स्वभाव का है उसी में ही जाके मिलेगा, right? So that is a very basic, we say a मूलभूत सिद्धांत of Vedanta. So just like water. So whenever there is water, the water is in the ocean. By the sunlight, it will evaporate. It will evaporate and go into the air, and then it will come down from the air, and then again it will come back to the ocean only. Somehow it will find its way back to the ocean only. So whatever is source, it comes back only. Or like you take a stone. If you take a stone, you throw it upwards, again it will come back to the earth. You can say that it is due to the gravity. You can say, yeah, but the thing is that everything does not behave according to gravity. Does everything come down? Fire goes up, right? Fire goes up also. So that means what? The source of the fire is upwards towards what? The sun. That means the source of the. So everything goes back to its source. That is the nature. That is the law of the universe, right? The law of the universe. Everything. So similarly, what is the jiva moving towards? What is the individual moving towards? Ishvara. Always we are moving towards Ishvara. In some time that we might, there might be a time, no, when we are not, we forget this journey. Then through the trials and tribulations in the world, we will ultimately learn that the world is not going to give us joy. And we will ultimately move towards Ishvara only. That means our nature also is the same as Ishvara, same as Atma. From that, we should clearly understand that we, the Atma, the Jiva Atma, and the Paramatma are of the same nature only. We are of, our essence is the same. The essence of Jiva and Ishvara is the same. So that is what we understand from that pralapayan, or the oneness of this Atma. So therefore, how do we move towards Ishvara? So here what is said here, Yat Purushena Havisha. So you surrender. You surrender to Ishvara. So that is the best way to go towards Ishvara. Follow the path that has been given to you from Ishvara. Follow rhythm. Follow the laws of the universe. So that has been given to us by our rishis. Luckily, they have given us these methods of sadhana, of rhythm. So whenever we do any kind of study of Shastra, no, we can study a lot. We can always learn lots and lots of Shastras. But ultimately, there will come a time, just like there is a Vairagyam towards the objects of the universe, then Vairagyam for knowledge also will come. You will feel that this knowledge is also superficial. It is not, it is not useless, but it will lead you towards a higher knowledge. You will thirst for something special. And that is when you go into this Havisha, that Samarpanam. You go to the Samarpanam and you pray to the Lord and you say, whatever I have learned is nothing compared to your knowledge. You know all the universes. You know all the beings of the beings that are there in the creation. What do I know? So therefore, once that surrender comes and you give in to the thought that I am not trying to know anything now. मैंने जितना करना था कर लिया. I have done my part now. Now I leave it up to you. The moment that surrender is sincere, the Lord will take you in his arms and he will catch your bare intellect and he will make your intellect one with him. He will catch your mind and he will make you with the universal mind. And once that connection is there, that is called yoga. That is called yoga. So once that yoga is done, reached through surrender or samarpanam, then the real knowledge comes. Then the actual knowledge comes when you can actually see that the teacher who taught me that Atma, we are all Atma, then internally you can see that thing. Internally you can feel. It is not something that you can just like reach in meditation. In meditation, what you see is an experience. It is just an experience. Yeah, just so every experience in this world is of another thing, object. right? An experience can never be of a real thing, but the experience of your own nature is attained through union only, uh, yoga ke dwara. So it is only through yoga. So for through yoga, what you have to do, you have to make your chitta very clean, very, very special. So in the Yoga Sutras, no, this whole state is given, how this whole series is given, how you can take the different states of your chitta or your mind to the more purer state. So first state is the Kshipta Avastha. So Shikt is it is going elsewhere, here, there, all the different objects. So whenever we sit in meditation, I have to cook some food for dinner, or I want to eat that thing for dinner, or I want to tomorrow morning I have to go to work and I have to reach at this time. I don't want, I got late yesterday. So hundreds and hundreds of thoughts. Shiptaha. So slowly we have to remove what we call tamo gunaha, the capability of the lower drawing power to take us down, right? So then we just try to resist that lower force, just like the earth drags us lower, no? So we have to rise, we have to make an effort. So that is the effort when we are into the place where knowledge is not there, but I'm trying to go up. So that is called the mood avastha of the chittam. So shift avastha, then mood avastha. Mood means not shift means bikhra hua. Okay. Bikhra hua. And then slowly this tamogun will get reduced, and then we it is called the vikshipt avastha. Shift, it is still kshiptah, but there is a focus somewhere. Vikshipta. So vishesh. So then we are focusing ourselves towards some kind of knowledge, right? And then finally the ekagra avastha will come according to Yoga Sutra. So that is the ekagra avastha, is when the chitta is focused on one and only one thing. So मूड अवस्था इज व्हेन यू आर राइजिंग अप, जब तुमने इसको तमोगुण को छोड़ दिया है, सो ऊपर की तरफ अभी निकल रहे हो, यू जस्ट स्टार्टिंग टू, एंड देन फाइनल स्टेट इज व्हाट, निरुद्ध अवस्था. Nothing remains, everything is merged into samadhi, everything is merged into samadhi. So once that merging is done, then what is happening, then the yoga state is reached. In that yoga state, you are connected with God. So in that state, if you are seeking, let us say, knowledge about any particular facet of reality, it will come in flashes. Within few seconds, so much will be said that to express it outside to someone, you will need hours. Yeah. So that is how you have to take yourself or focus yourself inwards, so that in that way you can reach the position where the state of your mind can reach very close to the nature, your own nature, Atma. So that is the most beautiful state. It has been described in so many shastras. In Vivek Chudamani, it is given that when the student reaches that state, then he is totally at a loss of for words. He is like crying tears, and he has nothing more to say. He is sometimes behaving like crazy, like raising his arms up and praying crazily. So in this way, in that state, it is just like the pot becomes mud. No separation indeed. So that in this way, this tasmat atma iti kirtayate, that part will come about, the definition of atma. You know that I am atma, right? So atmanvi iti syam, that was said by Bhagavan Sureshwaracharya. That is what is realized here. So therefore, all the Vedas are for this only, ekatma jnanam, the knowledge of the reality, the knowledge of oneness. So in Bhagavad Gita also, Bhagavan Krishna says, Vedescha sarvam evam vedaha. So in all the objects to be known, I am the one who is to be known. So let me tell you this, he is giving his secret. So whatever object is there, in that the object to be known is Atma only. Right? So that undivided reality, that is the one we have to strive for. So now when we have reached that, what is the special status we receive? What is the special status? We become like a son to that Paramatma. We are like his offspring. हम उनके बच्चे की तरह. Then no duties remain. When we are doing karma, when we are doing karma, then we need to work hard to do a karma phalam. We need to get a karma phalam. But when we become children of that God, then we will keep working, no doubt. Huh. But a father never says to your son, I gave you these 10 tasks, you didn't complete them, today you will not get food. It will not happen. It is not like he is a servant, no. So that is the difference between when we are servant. When we think of ourselves as separate from God, we are like servants. Then we have to do karma to get karma phalam. But once through knowledge we get that union with God, then he says, Yoga Shema Vahamyaham. In Gita, Bhagavan Krishna says, you just surrender to me. I will then carry your duties. Yoga Shema. Yoga is the things that we acquire. So when I acquire something, I connect to that. I become one with that. That is also another kind of yoga, but not the one we were talking about. And then Shema, to protect the things that you acquired. Yeah, Shema. So that yoga Shema is the principal occupation of all human beings, right? So whenever all human beings are forever in their life engaged upon these two activities only, acquiring, protecting. So Krishna Bhagwan says, I will take care of a yoga shema. So he becomes like your parent. Yeah, God becomes like your parent. So therefore, you don't have to run after him. Anything yet you do for him is not like a debt. Just like right now, I think of myself as a separate being in the nature, then I acquire rinam. Prakriti se rin ho jata hai hamare par, है ना? So to give clear that rinam, we have to keep doing karma, right? And we have to keep giving back to nature. But once we reach that state of jnanam, then that state of rinam is not there. So in Gita, Bhagavan says, he avasho api. You move out of the control of this universe. Right? So your thought becomes very, very stable. वृत्ति स्थिर हो जाती है. And then you are able to completely move out of the situations where you have to worry about things, right? There is a story about it's a very long one, but I'll just shorten it down. So it's a story about a person in the south who was a very famous devotee of the Lord. So what he did was he had a business. He started with one job. He would design a special dress and take a tailor, and then he would stitch it and then supply it to the person who designed. So it was for some good high-end customers, right? And so this once he started, people liked it so much, the concept expanded, and he developed a very flourishing garment business. So while he was doing that business, he would always remember that it was God who had guided him internally to, do this job. So when he uh, realized that nature had given him so much, he would always give away a lot of his money back. So he would give 7 out of 10 parts. 70% he would give away of his earnings. One part for himself, one part for family, one part for his employees. The remaining 7 parts he would give away of whatever he earned. So as his business expanded, he could not go out to give away that money. So what he would do is he would give his uh, munims, he would give his the accountants the money to give away. But what did they do? They would keep some part for themselves. Some part they would give to their favorite people or their relatives and all. So it did not reach the right people. Right. So Bhagwan was watching, he would always pray to Bhagwan, help me always. And Shiva was his deity. So Bhagwan then one day appeared to him in the form of a person. He said, I will help you in your business. I won't ask for any salary. You just give me a place to live and eat. That is all. And so uh, he would take care of the business, and then while taking care of the business, Shiv Bhagwan would tell him that these things that you are all this wealth that you are accumulating, it is not of use to you. One day it will all go away. What will you do? And same thing happened. So in some time from that, even though this new person had made the business grow, he lost all his wealth. His ship sunk in the ocean, and then he went on to become a saint. He took sannyasa. So then he realized that the main duty is towards God, and he would always, pray to God, and he would be in samadhi dasha always. So once he was caught in a false accusation of theft. Some thief left his stolen goods in front of him, and he was put on a what we call a suli. There is a thorn kind of thing, very big, and on that it is like putting a person to death. So when the king put him to death over there, that suli ka kanda that totally collapsed and became turned into dust. So the king asked forgiveness on watching this miracle, and he said that you are a special person indeed. Please forgive me. So in this way, what this person realized was that when I am committed to God, then God is always looking after me. So similar way, I'm not saying give up your work and everything. It's not, that is not. Initially, we have to do our duties, but our first duty is towards God only, right? So we should always spare some time from our routine, from where we can enter into a communion with God. Yat Purushena Visha. So follow rhythm for whatever is that. So the process initially was, we saw earlier also, that it was the Brahmins who had learned the laws of the universe. They taught the other Varnas who would follow it. And then this through different, festivals and different things, different celebrations, it was woven into the fabric of our society. So that even without knowing physically all of these things, a person would follow dharma. But today people are moving away. People, they follow Western thinking. They don't know that what they are losing. That is why we say, some people who will say that like other religions are becoming more powerful. It is our own fault. First, we have to increase our Swayam Bodha. Shatru Bodha is secondary thing. First, if we do our Swayam Bodha, then only people will come attracted to you. No, when you are firm about your religion, no one can take you away from this religion. You have to learn everything carefully and follow it. The ones who have not seen our Hindu Dharma in action, or who don't understand it, then they get caught by the short-term attractions of other religions, and that is why they get converted there. So we have to first build our dharma so that it can become a focal point for all who want to enter into it. And therefore, being loose is not a solution. Loose means that you are going downwards. So as long as you will be able to hold on to your dharma, then only you can enter into the world of Virat, enter into the world of the Brahman or the universe of the Lord. And then next step is what? We are connected to that God. But now we have to understand also that through this connection, there are so many beings who are also creations of this God. वो सब भी वहीं से आए सजातो अत्यरिच्यत. So from him were born, and from him were separated out so many different beings. So men, animals, devas, they all separate from him. But what is the difference? They don't know who they are. They become empty. Right? They don't have his essence, kind of. So they become empty. They are not all knowing like that Ishvara. Then we saw also that Paschat Bhumi Matho Puraha. So this Bhumi came later on, but before Bhumi, of course, by natural logic, we can understand that other elements also came, and then all the seven dhatus were put into the body. The seven dhatus, Asti, Meji, Majja, all the seven elements of the human body were then used to create this body. So now this creation is being done. So now, what is the next important fact about this creation is that anything that is being done in creation, it has to be done with two powers. Two powers are necessary for any kind of creation. One is Kriya Shakti, and another is the Gyan Shakti. Right? So one of them is not sufficient. Like we are creating a world in our dream. We are creating a duck. So that is a less uh, that is a reality having less power. So it is something that will go away soon as we wake. Whenever we wake up, it will disappear. So there only Jnana Shakti is there, right? And also, if you are making something and there is only Kriya Shakti there, then that also is not sufficient. So if Lord is making something through having Kriya, then that Kriya will have to have a Jnana or knowledge about what to do after that. So if there is a stone falling, so it is a blind creation. It can hurt anyone. It can fall on anyone. So any event that is happening in the creation, it is said it is to fulfill prarabdha of some being. So therefore, Jnana Shakti has to be there. If any stone is falling, it will not fall anywhere. It will hurt only the person it was meant to hurt. Right? So that is how this through Kriya Shakti and Jnana Shakti, the Lord is creating the beings of this universe or making this universe move. So once you know, then only you can understand that any activity that you do, you have to put both your things, Kriya Shakti and Jnana Shakti. Plan everything very well. Plan everything with clarity, and then do the activity. Then do the action of that activity. Don't go wildly into that, or just don't keep planning and planning. A lot of people do only planning. बस मन में ही बस ख्याली लड्डू पकते रहते हैं. They keep creating different things in their mind. They have so many schemes and formulas. None of them work. So our life in this world should be a healthy mix of this Kriya Shakti and Jnana Shakti. Just like our original essence, our Lord, our Paramatma has used it in the universe. Everything, we say every patta, every leaf that is moving by the will of the Lord. So now this, how does this energy, this Kriya Shakti and this Jnana Shakti exist within us? They are both Shakti, their power, their energy. So this energy will exist as potential energy within us. Just like Agni or fire, it exists as potential energy in water. So you say, how Agni in water? Whenever water comes down and then you generate electricity, so then that it is hidden here. So the word used is Bhavadagni in the Shastras, the Agni in the water. So Agni is there in the water. You can generate it out of churning. So in this way, all the energy is there within us in potential form. We just need to churn. We need to give the effort, and once the churning is done, it will become active. So within us are all energies. So just like water is the support of our body. So water contains that Agni. What we are all beings of water. 70% water, no, 90% water. Sorry, 90% water. So that water is
Water in our body.
70. Okay. So all that water is contains this Agni. It contains that potential fire. At sometimes it manifests at some places like the Jatharagni, the digestive fire within us. So our prana shakti or our life force, it takes this energy and uses it in maintaining our body. That is why we constantly need to drink water. If we don't drink water, our throat will get dry. We will not be able to survive for long, right? So the energy that is there in the body, it needs to be replenished. So from outside, we keep taking a water and also food in the same way. So in this way, we should keep doing it. And of course, what is the bhava for doing all this? With nishkama bhava. So that I am not doing anything. Whatever I am doing is through the energy that is given to me by the Lord, right? The energy that is given to me internally by the Lord. So nishkama it does not mean that you don't have to depend on the Lord. Okay. It means not having desires or kartitva, not having the ownership of doership, that I am doing. Whatever is being done is being done by the Lord. So just like people will say to the kids. So if a kid is asking something, then in private that is okay. But sometimes when a kid will ask in front of other people, then the parent will feel like he will feel ashamed to refuse, and then he will probably be forced to give something that he should not be giving. So the people, they say to their kids, "कि सबके सामने मत मांगो. Don't ask in front of others." There was a certain kid. His father learned that he saw a few things in his room that he had not given to this child. So he said that, "Where did you get this thing?" So I said, "I asked from the uncle nearby. You said don't ask for me." So I asked him and he gave it to me. So he said that, that does not mean that I'm saying that don't ask in front of others. And so you start asking other people. So you ask me only. So that is same way God also. God also tells us, ask from me. He is there for everything that we need. Once we ask sincerely, and that is why don't ask in front of others means what? That means we should not ask what is needed by us. जितना चाहिए उतना मांगो भगवान देंगे. Always he is there for us. Of course, that oneness has to be there. Otherwise, we have to work hard to get what he's giving us, right? So in this way, once this bhava is built up of how our nature is, how our relationship to God is, how our connection to God is, and how we can get the objects of our requirements from God, our life becomes much more smoother. The wrinkles fade away, the worries fade away, and we are able to continue in a much more fulfilling fashion, right? So just like water supports our life force, similarly, the Lord becomes the water for us. He becomes the life force, the supporter of us. So, Veda is in the Veda, we call it division into Karma Kanda and Gyan Kanda. So that division is not actually strictly correct. But if we just take about the part about fulfilling desires, that is what we see in what we call the Brahmana Bhaga. So in Veda, we have the Brahman, the Aranyak, Upanishad, and the main part, the mantra. So the Brahman Bhaga, they are full of all the ways by which we can ask from God. So Veda itself has given us the methodology by which we can ask from God through a certain ritual, through a certain surrender, and through a certain process. Once we do that, then God will always be there available to us to give our desires. He will just guide you that this is the work you have to do, and this desire will be yours. Yeah. So therefore, don't pretend vairagya. Where a lot of people say, "I don't need anything." No, like some people, they will, even if they're sick, they will not take medicine. Like my wife will say the same thing about me also. So whenever we need something, we should ask from that God. In There is a very nice story about this. This was said by Maheshanand Giri Maharaj. So he said that in Rudri part, we are asking so many things. So yashashchame, priyaschame, samachchame, everything that every line of that Rudri part is we are asking something from God. So he says we should never be ashamed to ask from God. So other religions, he used to laugh and he should say, "These Christians, what are they saying in their prayer? Give us this daily bread." Arey, bread koi mangta hai? Do you ask for bread? Bread you are getting anyway. Ask for something good. Look at our Shastra. If they hear our Rudri part, they will. He says Rudri part. That part is called Chamakam. He says वो चमक जाएंगे इसको सुन के. They will get very irritated when they listen to this. So in our system, we say we should be sincere in our oneness with God, and then we should not worry about any requirement, anything that we sincerely need. We should be there, we should surrender to God, and He will take care of our karma as His duty. He will direct us to our karma because ultimately, who will be doing the karma? Himself only. His Shakti He will give us. And once we take our sankalpa from God, our sankalpa will be beautiful. Our own sankalpas are filled full of what we call wish, born out of our dependence upon vishayas. So wish is poison. So because vishaya can become a poison, how? When our desires take us to unhealthy things. So therefore, we have to take our role in the universe to generate the more positive karma phala so that our journey in life becomes fulfilling, and not just for us but all the people around us. That is the message of the Purusha Sukta. So far we have seen till the point where the creation is being mentioned, how it came out, and how the Lord is taking us into his surrender and revealing to us his nature of Atma as one with him. Right? So, this is what we have seen so far. So, we'll wind up for today. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओम् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम् ॐ तत्सत्